Ayo, welcome back guys, and I know it's been a while since I've made a Warframe video, but 2024 is off to an amazing start, and I think it's going to be a pretty big year for Warframe, so I am excited to start making videos again. I hope you all do enjoy today's video, and if you do, can you please take the time to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and comment what MR you are and how long you've been playing. I'm very interested to see where everyone is at in their journey. However, Warframe is consistently getting new players that will be coming with a lot of newbie mistakes that can easily be avoided. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video with my personal opinion of the top 5 newbie mistakes to watch out for and keep in mind while starting the game or progressing along. Alright, so starting off with number 1 is buying non-prime Warframes for Plat instead of just going and taking the time to farm them out. So as you all may know, with the release of Corvex and the Whispers of the Wall update, there are now 55 new unique Warframes. So you might be thinking, with so many frames, how will you ever choose your next? So you head over to that orbiter, or you go to the marketplace and you scroll through and see all the frames with the Plat icons next to them, thinking, wow, you gotta purchase all these frames with Platinum, but that actually is not the case. As you see, you can scroll down and actually purchase a blueprint for these items, which will be then obtainable once you obtain all 3 of the countering parts for these Warframes. As you can see, as you head over to your navigation, each of these planets are going to have an assassination node, which will have a corresponding boss to that node. You run the mission, you kill the boss, and as you extract, you will see it drops a piece to a Warframe. Here, I get a mag piece, and it is one of 3 parts. Every Warframe, except a few, are made up of 3 parts and then a main blueprint, which you will need to craft once you have crafted the 3 parts, being the neuroptics, the chassis, and the systems. Now, each of these will take 12 hours to craft, and that does kind of suck, but I do not recommend wasting Plat to rush it. Just go out, farm, do something else, farm some resources, get some more items so you can start crafting more Warframes and more weapons. But once you do get the parts crafted after 12 hours, each of them can be crafted at the same time or separate whenever you get them. But it will take them 3 days to actually craft the final Warframe, and once the Warframe is crafted, you will need a Warframe spot. You start with like 2 or 3 of them. You can buy more for like 20 Plat, but you will need those, so keep that in mind too with your initial Platinum. You start with 50, so maybe getting some Warframe slots and weapon slots wouldn't be such a bad idea. But either way, I highly recommend taking the time to farm out a Warframe instead of just buying them outright. It teaches you a lot about the game mechanics. It teaches you just kind of the fun of the game, which is grinding, and actually obtaining the thing you've been grinding for the last couple hours. So I highly recommend to just go out and grind it compared to buying it. Alright, so moving on to the next one is not joining a clan. So I get it. A lot of you guys are solo Nancys who enjoy all playing the game alone and doing things by themselves. And that's great, but many clans actually don't require much social interaction or contribution whatsoever. So while you may be asking yourself, well then why would I ever join a clan? I don't plan on raiding or doing any of the in-game activities. I'm only 2 hours in and I still can't figure out what the fuck the mod screen is. Well, let me tell you, your clan access to a catalog of different weapons, Warframes, and other gears that can contribute to helping you progress throughout your Warframe journey. Not to mention, if you ever plan on trading with other players for that sweet Platinum, you will need a clan dojo to do that with a trading station there. Most, if not all, clans will have this, and if it doesn't, well, maybe it's time to find another clan, because it doesn't seem like they're going to have everything you need. But besides what I was said before, clans are a great way to meet other players if you aren't really a solo player or you're just kind of not used to talking to other people. It's very easy to meet other new players, or you can meet other veterans who've been playing the game for way too long, like 10 plus years, maybe. You never know. But I highly recommend to get in there and just start chatting, learning, asking questions. You never know, you might even get some free stuff from some people. People are awesome in this game. They love to help out new players, so never feel free to ask questions or ask for help. People are always jumping on that, especially if you're in a clan. A lot of these people love helping new players. So, and who knows, maybe after you get in there and you see like what all the dojos and clans are about, you might find that you love decorating. I mean, you can spend hundreds, if not thousands of hours decorating these rooms and creating different designs and different sculptures, and people go way into this stuff, so you never know what you might find. But by not joining a clan, you are missing out on so many things. It is highly recommended, whether you're a solo player, you play with friends, to get in a clan and just start doing it now rather than later. Alright, moving on to number 3, it is chasing that build you saw on YouTube or on some kind of website about Warframe builds. So let me be real with you guys for 1 second. Most builds that you see on Warframes and weapons are kind of completely overkill for some of even the hardest content in the game. So you don't really need to be pumping out 2 million damage to kill an enemy that has 5k or 2k shields, you know. As a new to mid player, you should be avoid looking up builds and chasing the so-called meta. I say that in quotations because there really isn't a meta. It's really how you want to play the game, but you are not really in a place to be doing this anyway. You most likely don't have the mods, the arcanes, the archon shards, etc. to make builds like this even happen. I love big numbers like as much as the next guy. However, what you should really be doing is experimenting and learning what each of these mods actually do and how they can work together. This will not be an easy task as there are many mods and options you have at your disposal, but taking the time to learn and understand what these mods do will not only benefit you in the long run, but plus you might even find more enjoyment from a build that you put together compared to someone you found on someone's stream or on a YouTube video because it matches your playstyle. There is no one weapon or one Warframe that is best. They each have a style of play, and then the mods can take that to the next level with your own personal customization of how you want that Warframe to play. Whether you want to have more range, more strength, maybe be more tanky, or you want to just pump DPS, non-stop DPS. Maybe that's how you play, and you're looking for that max DPS build. But when you come to that conclusion compared to just looking up that conclusion, it's such a rewarding feeling knowing that I put this build together and it is able to pump this kind of damage compared to I watched a video and he said this is why it's going to pump so much damage compared to coming to that conclusion yourself. And I don't know, I just think the ability to create a practically endless amount of build variety and uniqueness is what makes Warframe so great. So take the time to really go out there, and who knows, you might find that you love a certain build that someone else could absolutely hate because they find it too boring or rather too complicated. So you never know unless you try. So I just recommend going in there, taking the time, throw on some mods, take some off, throw on a different one to just try things out, learn the different elements, learn the different combinations, and you'll be surprised what you learn. Moving on to number 4, this is honestly probably one of my favorite ones, when people go into trade chat without a clue of what is going on. So let's say you just got a shiny gold mod, or even maybe you collected your first prime Warframe set that you don't want to build but rather you want to sell. So you take yourself over to the trade chat and less than 5 seconds have passed and you are overwhelmed with the spamming of want to buy this prime set or want to sell this holy god Revan for 10k plat, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, maybe trade chat just isn't for me. I posted my message of wanting to sell my Bratton Prime, and no one is hitting me up, and the only guy who did hit me up asked me how much, and I said 100p, and now he blocked me. So 20 minutes have passed, and you close trading chat and never go back. This is far too common with new players and their introduction to trade chat. Thankfully for you, the community has a site called Warframe.market, which almost acts as like a player auction house for all tradable items in the game. You can see the prices of all the items, people who are selling it, buying it, so you have an idea of what things generally go for. Much better for a new player to use this site until they kind of have a better idea of the Warframe economy and how things work and what things actually go for. However, to my people watching trying to make some plat, you definitely want to be selling in trade chat. You just have to know what you are doing and be consistent with it. I do plan in the future of making an in-depth video on how to properly use trade chat and actually make a good amount of plat with it. Many will say trade chat is a scam and a waste of your time, but if you learn the ins and outs, it can actually be consistent and actually make more platinum off of trade chat than using Warframe Market, especially to sell things. Many people on Warframe Market are having very competitive pricing compared to trade chat, where you kind of make your own price and people decide if they want to pay it or not. And many people actually don't want to use these third-party sites and they'd rather trade in-game. So you're actually able to catch on these people and get a little bit higher prices out of them. So I don't necessarily think it's a scam. I think it's just a convenience thing. So if you do have the time, I'd recommend trying it. Alright, and finally, my final recommendation is people who don't log on every day. Now, I know this sounds bad that any game asking you to log on every day seems like classic FOMO, but Warframe login system isn't a consecutive login reward system. If you miss a day, you don't restart, you just keep going from where you were left off last time. So why would you have to log in every day, you ask? Well, if you get penalized for missing a day or two, it's not too bad. However, there are many amazing mods and weapons you get from some hefty login days, some reaching 500 to 800 days, so missing a day every once in a while won't hurt, but otherwise it's going to greatly slow down how fast you are reaching milestones. Even if you don't plan on playing Warframe for the day, just give it a boot up, log in, and claim your login reward, then log off and go on with your day. You don't have to play any missions or do anything else. That's it. If you have time, however, something I want to add to go along with this is every 23 hours you have the option to build a forma in the foundry. You can get these forma blueprints from relics, and you can have one building at a time and no more. So making sure to have those started and always going building one at a time is very important, as these are crucial in upgrading your builds in the future for more capacity to allow for better weapons and Warframes. So start the forma grind early on, and sticking with it is something you may want to think about. However, this is for today's video, guys. I hope it at least helped you with one of these tips or tricks so you don't make these mistakes, because I know when I was first starting my Warframe journey, I made a lot of these mistakes, and it would have saved me a lot of time, money, and headache. So I know I have made many of these myself, and I hope you can just avoid one of these from this video. So thank you guys, and I hope you all have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you.